Welcome, everyone. So, Netflix dropped a teaser for Stranger Things. What is this, season five
Yeah,
coming up?
yeah.
And I've been a big Stranger Things fan since the beginning. And so, in order for me to go and be prepared for the new Stranger Things season, we are going to revisit and recap all the seasons. And when the new season comes out, I want to say it's October, November. When it drops, we'll be ready. And of course, we're going to bring you our review. They're going to break that up into three parts, by the way. I think it's going to be it's either October or November. And then they're going to drop another part on Christmas. And then they're going to drop the third part around like New Year's.
They're gonna waste our time. That's what they're gonna do.
That's basically what's going to happen.
Cause they
So,
already done with the whole season. Like, come on,
yep.
what you gotta
So,
do? You gotta edit.
now they're just going to they're going to stress it out. They're going to stretch it out. But that's okay. We gonna rock with it because they like y'all gonna wait for it. What else y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't got nothing but time and space. So we will be recapping the last season and reviewing it when it comes out. But we are going to revisit each season. So today we are going to go back and look at season one of Stranger Things, which was when this show came out. This show was brilliant. I'm an '80s baby, so I like anything that looks '80s ish. Watching this show, they did such a good job. I kept having to double check to make sure it wasn't made in the '80s. That it was so authentic. Everything about everything. I literally kept looking like there's no way they like made this in the 2000s because the film that they used to shoot it, the music that they used, they made sure all the houses, the designs, the clothes, the hairstyles, everything was very 80s, and I appreciated that. And I thought their pilot episode, The Disappearance of Will Byers, was completely amazing. And I have been a fan since the beginning. How about you, Charles?
It's a dope series. I liked it at the beginning. I fell off, so ain't I don't have all the information yet. I gotta go watch season 3 and 4. But yeah, the first two seasons that I saw when they first came out. Yeah, I dug it. I thought it was dope. Yeah, I could tell whoever made it is like trapped in nostalgia. That's I remember during that time when this dropped, like '80s properties, '80s themed properties were kind of like big at this time when this dropped. So it was kind of like all in the Matrix or whatnot. I still prefer the '90s. I mean, I'm an '80s baby too, but the '90s had the best everything. Like they had the best music.
Ain't nothing like '80s horror.
Come on, man. Fell asleep in no '90s horror.
I ain't see. I mean, I ain't saying it's bad because I mean, I was. I mean, that's a good bit of what I lived through and became a big horror fan because of the '90s horror. But it ain't nothing like '80s horror.
I think
You just can't.
I think for me, '80s horror didn't hit because by the time I saw it, I was like desensitized. So like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers, they didn't feel scary to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's when I saw it more than anything. But like, come on, man. Come on, the '90s had some dope ass shit. Like the '90s had a lot of like sci-fi horror. It was the '90s. Like they really was digging deep into like freaking Event Horizon and what's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis on the ship? Uh, she on a boat with a freaking robot that's killing people from space. Hey, that is the premise of that movie. I can't think of the name of that movie. You muted.
Yes, I ain't gonna lie, '80s horror is a little bit silly, okay? But look, me and Tyra from Stroke Reviews will defend '80s horror for life, okay? We gonna stand up for '80s horror all day, every day,
Man,
cheesy and all.
'80s
I'm gonna stick
horror,
beside it.
it depended so much on people just not doing, folks being stupid. I don't know. It's something crazy about the '80s, like '80s movies. Like what's that sleepaway camp when that the '80s?
I think that was 70s or 80s.
Like, come on, man, y'all couldn't tell. That shit was hella cartoonish, yo. They had Bugs Bunny in a dress and a wig, like killing people. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it was angry.
come on, man. Like, that shit was wild. And what's up with everything being at freaking camps? And why everything happened on vacation? Like,
I'ma stick beside it. Stick beside my
oh,
84. And that's probably why I freaking love Stranger Things so much, because it is very, very 80s. And right at the beginning, we are introduced to our D&D crew here. Um, Dustin, who we got? Lucas,
Lucas.
Mike, and Will.
Surprised you ain't said Lucas first, but
First of all, I ain't even like Lucas little ashy self until actually I ain't really Lucas Lucas didn't step up to me until season 4. Like
man,
season 4 was his season. Like Lucas for me was, I don't know, he always on my nerves
I
as
don't
most
know.
people. But by season 4, I said this, he was even acting his ass off in season 4. So I'm gonna give it to Caleb McLaughlin by season 4. But he did a good job of being a little jerk in the rest of these seasons. But he thought he was doing something with his little slingshot.
I mean, I like Lucas in season 1. I thought he made the most sense. Like
Maybe I was
he
just here for
wasn't
L, and I was
ever,
just like, don't be doing L like that.
but he wasn't ever wrong. He wasn't wrong. Even that stuff about Elle, he was like, "Yo, she hiding shit." He was right.
I mean, but he had to treat her like that though.
He was trying to get his homie back. Like, come on, man. I'm trying to get one of my best friends back.
But
Are
you
you
ain't got
tripping?
superpowers, so what you doing?
That's cool. You got powers. You supposed to be helping. You ain't helping. That's what Lucas was on.
Okay. He was being an abrasive Negro, and I needed him to sit down and chill.
Oh man, he was definitely the the mind. He was us. Cause like, you know how you say watch horror movies and we be like, don't go in there and shit. And they go in there and Lucas ain't going in there. And Lucas is gonna sit there and explain why it's stupid to go in there.
You better go
That's
on these
why I
adventures
fuck
and
with
stop
Lucas.
playing.
Oh
But
man.
I actually love all the boys in this friend group there, because that is just again, I find myself in a nerd friend group. Hello, look at us now. If we gonna be sitting around talking about some nerd foolishness.
Yeah, we ain't never played D&D though.
Oh, I ain't that far in the trenches.
You know, Vin Diesel a D&D fan. Like, that's weird. I never thought Vin Diesel would be just because of his image. Well, he's a D&D fanatic, apparently. So,
Now you know. Now you know. So we watched the boys, heading home, because this is the '80s and things were, we felt like things was more safe back then. So
and they weren't. The crime rate was like twice as high
I was
back
just gonna
then
say,
as it is now.
although it was in the crack era,
It was
parents
also
just
in the adopting kids era. Like, a lot of
satanic
that
panic was
happened
also in the '80s too, wasn't
in
it? Those be talking about when the streets were safer. No, it wasn't. When
the
they just let,
definitely was.
when they just parents just let you do what you want to do. You left and came back most of the time. So they're walking home just as friends do, um, and as they would normally do. Nobody's expecting anything, and Will don't make that he don't make that journey home.
I mean,
Well, I mean, he got home, but but
it's
not
just
really. I mean, you got there, but you didn't get to stay home when you got
Will
there.
Will live so far away. That was the one thing for me. Like, damn, everybody else home. This nigga still on his bike. And then they played D&D for 10 hours. How you play? I mean, I don't know how D&D is played, but 10 hours seems like a lot. It's pretty much all day. So they left, and it's like you said, it's the '80s, and people ain't
Mhm.
thinking. But like, come on, man, ain't nobody about to let me drive at Will's age, be riding my bike home at like 12 midnight. Like, that's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. But yeah, they ain't give a damn back then. So yeah, these kids. That's why they say kids was tougher back then. It's like, nah, parents just was more neglectful.
Cause he sure enough was out there, and where was his mom and Jonathan? Like Will got home and it wasn't nobody there.
Jonathan, when Jonathan working or something, they both end up pulling a shift. I think that's what it
Something like that.
was.
Yes, and because
Yeah,
He wouldn't have been at he would have been at home by himself anyway if he was at the house. So he go there, and that's when we meet one of the Demigorians, and like for this show showed me right at the beginning they was like F them kids.
they did. But like, I like how they showed how they didn't show the monster, but the effects that the monster had on like the environment or whatever, like that's how the monster works, how the
And
Demogorgon works.
and the flickering lights and all of
Yeah,
that. Like
it,
he
it
let
just
you
lended
know
itself to that scene.
the first victim in the whole series was a child. They let you know we ain't playing with y'all in this. We're not
Yeah,
about
but
to
Will
play with
Will
y'all.
had to be resourceful as hell. 'Cause he was hiding. He hid from the thing.
He put up a good fight.
He
No,
did.
he put up a good fight.
He had his freaking little 22 rifle.
Mhm.
He was
He
trying to hold it down.
he put up a good fight, but we didn't know what Hawkins' lab was doing at that point in time for him to even remotely defend himself. We didn't
Yeah,
know, but Elle knew because she had just escaped
yeah. See, and that's
from these
that's the
people.
thing. When Will goes missing and it transitions to L, so it gives us that these are connected, type of things or whatever. So yeah, I like how the story in the first season, because the second season kind of started to lose me a little bit, but in the first season everything felt really organic. It felt like, yeah, this could happen because that happened, like that caused this and this caused that, and it seems
Hmm.
well planned out. So yeah, in the beginning when she just pops up, I mean, I watched it again, but the first time I watched it, like it was obvious to me. Oh, she got something to do with Will going missing.
Exactly. Like the same time that he goes missing, you escape. Like it's got, we're like this can't be a coincidence that because you were able to leave the you escaped the lab because you opened the portal that snatched Will.
Mm-hmm.
Um and, and looking back on it, it's like rewatching it, like we see these little subtle things that like connect the dots with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um and that her and Will are just like trying to navigate themselves somewhere safe in places they've never been. She's never been in the real world before outside of the lab.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know anybody. She doesn't really have social skills because they didn't really socialize the kids in that way. They kind of turned them against each other. She's
Yeah.
very distrusting, and then Will already coming from a family with an ancient dad and mom struggling, big brother stepping up, and now all of a sudden you're gone somewhere
You
and
in the
you can't even
Will was in a place, but
you it couldn't even like you can't even tell nobody where you at, like you're alive but you're somewhere you can't even explain.
yeah, but you're home though the whole time. Like that's crazy because I mean it's the same. He was in the same spot, just upside down, which is a weird concept, but it's
Exactly,
nerdy as
the
fuck.
same
But
place.
she, well, the thing I didn't get about 11, and well, in the beginning, in this scene especially, how was everybody mistaking her for a boy? because her head is cut. Is that an '80s thing? If a girl has short hair, she's a boy or something. I don't like because you can't tell. You can tell instantly that's a little girl.
No, immediately they said they ain't got no hair. This must be a boy.
It was
Just
a
it
boy.
must be. Clearly it must be. Didn't even care.
And,
And plus, she knew she got on a hospital gown, and nobody's paying attention anyway. Again, this is the '80s. They went. This whole show is like F them kids. Wasn't nobody even paying attention. You even seen Nancy with her
they
own
weren't.
brother at some point in the episode when Jonathan was asking Nancy about Mike, and she can't even tell him about anything about her little brother. They did not give a crap about these children. So her being overlooked, she's obviously in a hospital gown with a shaved head. I don't know how that didn't raise the eyebrows, but didn't nobody give a damn.
Her ass made it to that kitchen. Benny saw it though. Benny was a cool dude.
Yo, shout out to him, old boy from and I didn't even realize until I went back and watched it. He was Toby in This Is Us.
In the what?
The show This Is Us, the one that
Oh,
Sterling
I
K.
know you
Brown and
talking about.
Mandy Moore was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know you talking about.
I
He
didn't
was
even
who in
realize.
that?
Toby, he was married to the sister.
I can't remember that show like that, but I do know the show you talk about.
Yeah, it's a good show. It was a really good show. And yeah, they ain't have to do that to your boy like that because
Yeah,
as
man.
soon as I realized who he was going that fast.
Yeah, he was definitely killed quick. They really started out with a bang for real, for real. Like they they the showrunners established like the three different aspects of the mystery that had to like com- combine in order to solve it. They established it like out the gate because it was like, the first mystery is Will missing, and that's linked to the friends, and then you have the little girl showing up and Benny dying, and that's linked to the sheriff, the chief, and then Will being missing again. That's his mom, and his mom's aspect of finding Will was different from his friends, but each aspect, like the murder that happened, the so-called suicide. They made it look like Benny killed himself. The so-called suicide or whatnot, disappearance of Barbara, which pulled Nancy in. They established the different aspects of how these people came to their like conclusion, and all points led to one place. Each mystery, each thing that they were trying to find led to the same exact place. And I like how they did that. Like
Hmm.
it's very layered. I like that. And I don't know. I don't want to be like, I don't want to sound old like a boomer or whatever the hell, but it felt like a different era of TV. I mean, I
Hmm.
know it's not that new. I mean, it's pretty old. These kids are adults now, but yeah, it felt different. It felt like a TV I wanted to go back to. Like, man, why they don't write like this no more?
Exactly, and that's why I'm patient with it when it does take them years to come out with a new season because it takes a lot to make a show like this. Me and my sister were just talking about because the writing is good. We didn't even know anybody on this show really outside of Hopper and Winona Ryder, but these are very good actors in this series and believable. These people were believable. The set
Damn,
is
that is Winona Ryder. Nah, because the last time I remember her in something, she had like a really short, like bob cut looking thing. And yeah, her. Oh my god. I just realized that. But then, cause I can see it in her face, in her eyes, nose, and mouth. Like, oh my god, damn, my bad. Oh man.
You know, I could say so many things. I could say so many things here. But I'm gonna leave it alone. I could even play a sound clip here, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I ain't even gonna do
You're
you like that.
hilarious.
I ain't even gonna do you like that this time.
I'm just saying. It, it's crazy. I just talked about them calling L a boy with no hair. And Shorty, like, seeing her hair, like, it was her hair. It was her hair that made me not see who she was. That's what it was. The last time I remember seeing her in the movie was like fucking, it was the Alien movie. The one that was made by Wheaton, the guy that did the Avengers. That was the last movie I remember seeing her in. Like, and she looked totally different. I mean, she was much younger,
Mm,
but she didn't really age like that. Like, she didn't age bad at all. But it was her hair.
mm.
Her hair really threw me off. Damn, but I could see it in her face, and I'm like, damn.
Yes.
No wonder the acting was so good. Oh man.
You know what? I can't. I'm gonna just move it because I'm gonna start pulling up sound bites if I don't move on. Because I don't know how you that's the first name that pops up in the opening credits.
And who be watching credits, man?
Me, because I like the theme song. Okay, I like this theme song. I like the Game of Thrones theme song and Power.
I knew it had to be a black one in there. Wasn't gonna be three white fucking.
Some theme
um,
songs I don't move past them. Okay, I'm not gonna skip Stranger Things. I'm not gonna skip Game of Thrones, and I'm not gonna skip a Power theme song. It's just how it is. Okay.
man, the only theme songs I didn't skip was the X-Men, the animated series.
Oh yes, that one too. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm
That was
I'm
the
I'm
only
gonna let, I'm
one
gonna
I
let
did not.
the X Men theme song play every time.
Yeah, and then they changed the roster every like when the episode changed. That was hard. The episode where Gambit went on the roster no more was, oh my god.
Don't pull me back there. I ain't even got time for that one. Don't even pull me back to that time. But we see
Oh
the
man.
gang going out and searching for Will on their own, and they end up finding not Will, but they found 11, and Mike kind of takes her in and hides her at the house, which he did a good job of. That's how you know these people don't give a damn about their kids because y'all's youngest, well, because they had a baby after that one, but y'all's son was hiding a whole other child in y'all house, eating up all y'all food and sleeping in there and stuff, and
Cause he was the middle child. You know how that middle child shit go.
I'm aware.
You don't get no attention. You can do
None.
it. Your ass invisible as hell. I was the baby, so I already know what time it is. I already know.
Just go ahead and trigger my uh, middle child syndrome trauma. Why don't
Uh,
you just?
yeah, it's crazy though. Like you said, man. Like these kids, the whole time I was watching it. At the time when I first saw it, I don't know if I thought this. I just don't. I don't remember thinking this. But watching it now, being a little bit older, like I'm sitting there like, where your parents? The whole time I was like, what the hell y'all parents at? We see Lucas' parents one time at the damn funeral.
Funeral.
Yeah, shout out to Brad.
One time for Dublin, Georgia, y'all.
Shout out. But
But
yeah, man, they like him being able to harbor her, and he had her for a couple of weeks. Bro was taking food down there, like, yeah,
bro,
y'all really not caring. But
Brought her
you know,
clothes, pillow, blanket, and this older sister didn't even. I told Nancy, you didn't even know what was going on with
cause
y'all
she
no more.
had her own BS going on. That's why, like that.
Ain't even you the oldest that don't know what's going on with him and the baby today. Like this, she probably ain't even pick up the baby not one time.
Yeah, man. That now the baby stayed with the mom. The dad was the worst in that family, yo. Mike's dad is like, what the hell, bruh? He has like no concern for his. They're at the table discussing Nancy freaking being fast and and freaking Mike's friend being missing, and the dad is just eating like cool. That, he even later on, like when the all the government shit started happening, he still was like, okay,
That man said, "Look, I did my part, which is have a roof over your head. What more do you want from me?" And
man,
he knew what he signed. He said, "This is what I signed. I signed up to pay bills, and
exactly.
that's it. So
All
you a
he
stay at
did
home wife, and you do the rest.
is all, yeah,
You
all
do
the
it.
rest.
You do it."
Raise the family, be involved, know our kids. You got to do all that.
It's a superhero in your house, and you don't even know it. You
Oh, girl, your son is harboring a girl, bro.
and you ain't even know it. Right under
Like,
your roof.
bro, it's like, bro, they don't even go to their own basement. She was just in the basement. Like,
And as we see, Mike immediately kind of like takes to 11. But
yeah, 'cause he
Lucas is,
realized she was a girl the moment he saw her.
unlike the adults who just didn't give a damn. This little girl got a shaved head and a hospital gown, and nobody wanted to go take her to CPS. So, and y'all let these kids find her. And but Lucas, like most black people, we are very deeply distrusting in the beginning. Okay, we don't do new friends right off the rip. Okay,
with with
we don't
good
do new
reason.
friends like that.
With good reason.
I don't know you. I don't know where you come from. Okay, it's something about you. Let me find out. That's how Lucas was this whole time. Just let me find out.
Yeah, I mean, even when they find out she has powers, like he becomes more suspicious. Like Lucas is like, how a chick with powers show up right when Will go missing? Like, come on, guys. That's why I was with Lucas, bro. Like, bro, making too much sense.
They
He
could.
a child. He's making the most sense here.
They wasn't ready for it though. They wasn't. They wasn't trying to hear that. They said, "Ooh, she can move things with her mind." Okay,
Oh
she over here
yeah,
like Jean Grey. And
yeah,
Lucas said, "I
bro
don't give a damn."
was Phil was freaking enamored. Like he was he kept comparing her, yeah, the nerd shit. He's such a nerd. All over nerds, but he the biggest nerd.
Like they wasn't trying to see where she was coming from. They thought she was just cool, but Lucas was like, I don't care. I don't care. And of course Nancy, who was just the worst older sibling in this season.
Wasn't
I
this
I
going on?
much prefer Jonathan because Jonathan, actually, if we talking older siblings outside of this season, I'm gonna give it to Steve, and he didn't even have no siblings. Steve was the best sibling to all of these children.
Yeah, at the end.
By season two,
Well,
actually,
I mean,
from
at
season
the
two
end of
through
season
four,
one,
Steve was a good,
I was at
very
the
good
end of
big brother.
season one had Steve's good his face turn. He what I'm saying, he had his good guy turn at the end, but he had to get his ass whooped in order to get there.
First of all, Steve got his ass whooped in every last season. Okay, Steve got his ass whooped in
And
season
Steve is a
one.
lover, not a fighter.
Steve, Jonathan whooped Steven ass in season one. Season two, what's the name? Brother beat his ass. Then in
Oh
season three,
yeah, the little girl.
yep, her brother, I think his name's Billy, beat his ass. Then in season three, the Russians beat his ass.
I
And then
mean,
and then in season four, the bats from the Upside Down whooped his ass. So
he
Steve taking a good.
he's supposed to the girl's brother bro. What's the movie? Damn, it's a black movie. I love this movie. The Wood. Stacy. What's his name? Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was bro about me up.
When we talk about season two, we have to put his picture on one of the slides as a comparison. But yes, your little brother is harp is first of all, his best friend is gone, who be at y'all house all the time. Not only is his best friend gone, but he's harboring another child in your house, and you too busy over here
You
worried
supposed to be
about.
studying, goddamn.
And when you worry about Steve ass, and although I like in season one, I ain't like Steve that much, but season two, actually, Steve is one of my favorite people though. But Nancy, you worried about the wrong thing. I need you to help look out for these kids because they be up to no good, and you don't even know what the hell is going on until the last minute. Until the last minute, and then by that time, you don't even be as useful as you want. And while you over here with Steve, Barbara's outside, dying and
Yeah,
whatnot. The
like
Demigorgon is just all outside, just they done took Will, they done took Barb, and you don't even know what's going on until what, the next day.
Nancy's story at this
The
point,
next day.
like it took such a linear path to her abandoning Barb. Like I saw that coming. At first, thought Barb was the third wheel. I mean, there's only two guys. I mean, today that don't stop nobody, but
But then I'd have been like,
but
I'm
back
not coming
then,
then. And that at this point, I'm just like, then what am I here for?
yeah,
I'm not going.
she was the Uber. Like Nancy used Barbara as the Uber, man,
We wouldn't be friends no more after this.
and she used Barbara to cover because they weren't supposed to be out, but they went out to like the to Will's like little visual or whatever little school event or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be going out to that, but they didn't go to that clearly. And yeah, man, like her story to such a linear path, like Nancy's. I mean, because it goes from hey, me and Steve are thinking about doing the thing to doing the thing. And Nancy didn't put up no resistance
And
to
it
this.
made Steve
Walked
seem
right
kind of
into
like a douchebag in the beginning. Like our introduction to Steve was not that good. We thought he was a douchebag,
yeah.
and she left Barb. But really, you know what? This is Nancy. Nancy is the real villain right here.
Nancy was the villain, and she knew she was the villain. That's why you trying to make up for shit at the end. She
Because
knew she
first of
was the
all,
villain.
Steve was not even a bad guy. Okay, and
Steve.
you left your friend out to dry.
Steve had a reputation of like smashing chicks in school and then getting around, like, and she didn't want, you know what I'm saying? Like she liked them, but she didn't want to be put out like that. So like, I mean, Steve, one of the best dudes. I mean, at first,
Yeah,
and,
that's
I
what I
mean,
said. Our
and
introduction to him was just like
a lot of
like
it
he's a
was
jerk.
was his friends. His friends was trash. Like they should have went missing.
Exactly. Yeah. And they said they ain't even want to. They ain't even fight back. I mean, Jonathan did put them paws on him, but if they was real friends, they would have went and jumped Jonathan.
Nah, but see that was the part when I saw like not Will Steve's integrity, because when him and Jonathan were tussling and his friend went to jump in, he pushed him back. Steve was like, "Nah, I got this," and Steve pretty much accepted his ass whooping.
As he did
But
every
he 1v
season.
one though, like they could jump him, but Steve told him not to. So like that was the realest move Steve had did up until then. Like that's what a lot of character in his character. But yeah, nah. In the beginning,
Yeah,
yeah,
Nancy made me almost not like Steve. It took for Steve and Nancy to separate for me to like.
yeah,
Okay, and when Steve became the babysitter of them kids, I was like, okay, Steve is kind of that dude because Steve, the only one actually was looking out for these kids and protecting them while y'all doing other stuff. Steve was in the trenches with these children, and he wasn't even related to them.
in the trenches.
He was. Jonathan was doing the best that he could because Jonathan had to step up in the household because he had a raggedy ass daddy.
Yeah, but nah. I mean, I understand Jonathan's plight. Why was he taking pictures of Nancy and like, I knew he was out there searching for Will. That makes sense. What doesn't make sense?
With him in the woods acting like Peter Parker. Okay. Why are you taking these candid photos of Mary Jane, Peter? What are you doing?
Yeah, man, that didn't make any sense. Like it made sense. I know what he was doing, but we're gonna act like that ain't some creepy shit. That was some creepy shit. But
All in the woods. It
but
was at
doing
this
it,
point where we realized Jonathan ain't have no friends.
oh man, like Ian, and, like how old is Jonathan? Is he like he already graduated?
He was still in high school
He
too.
was still in high school too.
Jonathan just ain't had no friends
He was never in school.
because he had to work. Jonathan's out here paying bills.
This is the '80s when you just leave school.
Jonathan said, "I gotta help mom pay these bills. Okay, I gotta help raise this child. Y'all see the
Yeah,
rent due."
yeah. But see, him being a weird ass peeping tom for a hot second did allow him to like capture Barb's last moments, and like he was the glue that kind of like stuck the whole what happened to Barb thing together for Nancy. Because once Nancy figured out that he was taking pictures of them and the angle that he was at, and she saw Barb in one of the pictures, she was interested in like what did he see happen or whatever. And this when the man with no face thing came about.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's when they both realized like, okay, it's something bigger going on. So him being a peeping ass Tom, damn Barb, him being a peeping ass Tom.
Was actually, yeah, it
Yeah, it
came from
kicked off to what happened to Barb. You know, the first clue, pretty much. If it wasn't for that, we would have never. We would have. I don't know how we would have figured out what happened to Barb.
But she, she didn't end up making it, but that's what happened. She ended up in the upside down. It didn't go well for her. Apparently, she's not a survivor like Will, because I don't think she. But by the time 11 went down there to look for Will, Barb was not. Barb was already gone.
You see, like Will. Jonathan said Will was good at hiding anyway, and like they were thinking like Will could be out in the woods somewhere hiding because he is good at hiding, but he was hiding just in a totally different dimension.
Barb should have took a page out of his book because she wasn't hiding that well.
She ain't adapt fast enough. When she realized where she wasn't already up and moving. This nigga Will is already he locked in. He playing D&D in real life.
This is why I be telling people, I be researching, watching all of this stuff. Okay, I got to be prepared. If
Oh
you
my
stay
god,
ready, you ain't got to get ready.
you
Barb
sound like my
was not
sister.
ready.
You sound just like my sister.
If you stay ready, you got to get ready. Y'all didn't see
Doom.
it in the news this last week where they said there was people trying to smuggle a fungus over here,
Oh my god,
and the government caught them.
your doomsday prepper. You prepper for doomsday.
When I seen that news out, when I seen it, I said, "See, they tried to send us in The Last of Us just that fast." It was about to be. It was they talking about they was trying to take it to Harvard or something, or one of them Ivy League schools to go do some research on this fungus or whatever. Hmm.
Man, the number of times disaster is averted on a regular basis. If the public knew, it's no way like we could function as a society. Because yeah, like right now there's a disaster brewing that I knew about for years because of my job field, and nobody really paying attention to it. But we're all adding to it by washing our hands with antibacterial soap.
Why would you send me into a frenzy? This is the reason that people be looking at me crazy when I say
What?
the CDC is my dream job, because I'm telling y'all when it goes down, they're gonna tell us first. When I worked there, when I
They're
yeah.
not.
Then
I,
why would
I,
I want?
I
See, that's my
interned
whole ammo
there.
for trying to work at the CDC is so that
I,
when it all goes down, I can be amongst the first to know.
I interned there. They're not gonna tell you first. They're gonna tell fucking President Trump first, and they're gonna tell Governor Kemp first, and they gonna tell all the billionaires first. Then you go get a memo a couple of days later. That's what's gonna happen.
Gonna kill my dreams then, huh? All right. Mm, mm. Well,
That's the government for you, killing dreams
kill
one
that.
lie at a time.
Now, Will's mom, maybe you call it mother instinct, she knew her child was out there and alive. And she starts getting seeing Will trying to reach out to her from the upside down, and she's like, I know I'm not crazy. Like I can sense he's there, and technically he kind of is. He's just a different portal or
Like
different
a
dimension,
mirror.
but in the same place. She's like, I know he's here. He's not gone. He's like right around here. And so she, which is very creative of her. Like if he's being able to flicker the lights, maybe I can give him something to help me to find him. And also, y'all got to pay attention. Stick close to your nerd friends, okay? Because it took that type of intelligence for him to be able to try and reach out and communicate through the
That's
electrical
hilarious.
system.
Well, the thing that got me rewatching this was, okay, Will is on the opposite side of the same place. So like Will is in his living room. He's affecting these lights somehow from the opposite side. And he can see his mom affect the environment from her side. He can see her put the letters on the wall in order for him to be able to talk to her. Why the hell are you only flickering lights and shit when she's by herself? Like, when your brother's home, why aren't you doing the same shit? Because it make your mom look crazy as fuck after y'all have a conversation through the lights. And
Because
then when
that
she
time he was
doesn't
he was
prove it,
running.
your ass is gone.
When Jonathan be around, he was running from Demi-Courses every
Every
time.
time.
He,
Every time. When
okay.
when Harper came, he was running. Like, come on, man. He was when his dad was there.
At that time, he probably said, "I don't even want to see this nigga
Yeah,
anywhere. I ain't saying shit when
yeah,
he's here."
bro was trash. Bro was.
Straight trash.
It's just, oh no, it was just so convenient that, like, god damn, bro. The only time you had opportunities to talk, he probably was hiding, but it was when your mom was by herself and
And because
like,
that might be the one that believe him. Like I'm not gonna flicker these lights and everybody else probably like, damn, what's wrong with this light bulb?
yeah, and then the phone thing too. Remember, he would
Mm-hmm.
call or whatever, and then but it would always short circuit the phone.
Mm-hmm.
She was just going through phones. She was getting them loans from her damn job.
She said, "I don't care. I'm gonna find my child. Y'all playing games. I'm
She
I'm gonna do
told
I'm gonna
she
do what I
told
gotta
her
do."
manager, she was like, "Hey, I ain't missed a day ever. I always been here. I need that fucking advance, and I need me a goddamn phone."
I wouldn't have granted that because I'm gonna miss some days. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, bro, dude, what time that her manager was a good dude too, but he was like, "God damn, you killing me," but he gave it to
And she went to work. She said, "I'm y'all outside looking, but he's right. He's in here somewhere." Um, and why is you got Harper in this hopper? You ought to be ashamed. Don't do
her.
Hopper
Oh,
like that.
I thought it was Harper. I thought it was Jim Harper. Is it not?
It's Hopper.
That's a terrible name.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. The
I'm
fuck?
gonna need you to turn on the subtitles.
Hey, I never watched. Who watches dubbed English?
Me.
Y'all ADHD people, man. Y'all.
I need all my senses. I got to see it. I got to hear it. I got to read it. I need. I gotta be. It got to be everything because the way my mind be distracted, I need to be able to jump in at any time.
Oh my god,
Okay,
that's funny.
and get myself
But
together.
now this is what I was saying about how they tackled the problem from different angles. Because he out in the woods looking and thinking John, not Jonathan, but Will is good at hiding. Jonathan said Will is good at hiding, and he found that little drainage ditch or whatever. And then he followed that, and it led into the inside of the lab facility or whatnot. And that's how he ended up here. And then when he got there to talk to them or whatnot, they gave him the tour and they showed him the tapes from the surveillance of that area. But when they showed him, it was a clear ass day, And when Will went missing, it started raining that night. So it was like he knew then, like y'all fuckers is lying. So he played it cool though. He played it cool.
Hopper was a one man investigation team. He was out here in these streets by himself,
He
trying
was
to figure
giving
out
me
what was going
weird vibes though. It's like every now and then it seemed like he was gonna be a standard cop, like a standard don't do nothing cop. But then he'll move his ass. And I know Will's mom was on him, a lot. And that was, pushing him forward too. But the fact that he was reluctant because of his daughter. Like the things that was keeping him from wholeheartedly investing was because of his daughter and the feelings he had of resentment and of loss and grief and whatnot. And that also made a rift between him and Will's mom because he saw her actions as grief
on. Mm-hmm.
because of what he experienced. And it wasn't until like when she we'll get to it, but when she identified Will's body as not being his body and she told him that it's not my son, that was when it clicked for him that okay, there's something more to this. Like his entire demeanor and expression and just how he interacted with her changed from that point forward. Even though he still didn't tell her he believed her, but on the inside he believed her.
And because he remembers seeing these same things that he was going through,
Yeah,
and it brought him. It took him to a place. In therapy, we call it's a big term. We call it like counter transference, and he was having some of that with Joyce. He was kind of like transferring what he went through onto her because it's like me and my wife went through this whole thing, and with and it it took him to a point where he was drinking and isolated, and he did like I don't want that for her, but I went through this same period, but something did seem a little funny here. But before I give her false hope, let me check. But I understand why he didn't say anything to her first because he wanted to make sure if I'm going to give her any ounce of hope, it better be for a good reason.
that makes sense. You also skipped the fact that he was smashing around a lot.
Hopper was going through some things. He had a lot going on.
Like his two deputies were funny to me because, especially in the
Mhm.
library scene when like the librarian gave him some lip, they went back and forth because
Mhm.
he dated her once and hit and quit, and then the black cop was like, "Damn, brother, librarian."
It's dark days in his life after he lost that child. He
And
kind of
like
lost himself a little bit.
I mean, but see, a lot of we don't think about that as part of like cope. Like people that they'll cope with freaking liquor and drugs and whatnot. They'll cope with sex too.
Oh yeah, it's a form of escapism, and I think this whole case kind of pulled Hopper out of that. He had to lock in, and he hadn't
Yeah,
been locked in a long time, and this
he
forced
has
him
been
to
going through the motions.
lock in, and it's a good thing that he was locked in because after that funeral that wasn't nobody half believing because the boys didn't damn believe it. Hopper didn't believe it. Joyce didn't believe the funeral.
Well,
Everybody else
by
crying.
by the time the funeral came, the boys already knew Will was still alive because 11
Hmm.
had showed them that they heard him singing that freaking song. Oh,
Yes,
what was the song now? Because I freaking that song was all over the first season. I can't think of the name, but
yes, they.
it was the song that his brother showed him.
Mm-hmm. Uh, I can't. I know. I was just thinking it in my head a while ago, but yes, 11 was able to tune in on their walkie talkies, um, and they were able to. She that was how she was able to tell them that Will is here, but not here.
Yeah,
And so at that point, they're like, you know what? We have to find him. We know that's not him. Joyce
that's
was
when
like,
they
this
kind of
don't even
like.
look like him.
That's when they kind of like. Well, the kids kind of like formulated the idea of the upside down. And when she flips the D&D board over to explain where Will is, and then like um Lucas was like harping on the whole, you took us to Will's house. We know Will's not at his house, but they put two and two together. Was like he's at his house in the upside down. Like, you know what I'm saying? It took them a second to get there. And I mean, 11, she doesn't have the social skills, but she could talk. I just don't understand why it took her so long to get. Well, she was scared. She was scared of them going to the place and finding them.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems weird to me that she gave them information little by little.
Should I stay or should I go? That's the song he was singing.
That's it.
That
Yeah.
was what kind of kept him moving, kept his mind focused on just surviving. And Hopper is the one who discovered that this was the government put this damn plastic ass body here and to pretend that y'all, this is who it's gonna be. No,
Yeah, and then,
no,
like what was the story? He fell off the quarry shit. How the hell you fall off of that? And why would he be way out there? His house ain't nowhere near there.
yeah, it just the math wasn't mathing, and
The math wasn't math. And then the people that called it in was an outside law enforcement agency. It was a because like wasn't it like the city cops or whatever that called it in or something like that? So like Hopper being a cop, he know his department didn't find it, and he put it together when he talked to that guy in the bar,
mm-hmm.
like, and then that guy's story didn't add up quick, like, and then bro got mad defensive real fast.
So yeah, we're like Will is still out there. This isn't him, and it's like, why would they put that there? What are they trying to cover up? Is something happening? Um, and yeah, that's how they discover he's singing "Should I Stay or Should I Go." She's being able to tap in, using her powers to tap into that, and that's when the boys are like, let's go. Um, let's find him. Although she knows Will is there, she ain't trying to go there because unbe in this season we didn't know. We didn't find out until season 4. She wasn't trying to go to where the upside down was because
So you
she
gonna spoil it because
never.
I ain't seen season.
I ain't gonna spoil it all the way, but she opened that portal. Like season 4 takes us back to what happened to her when she left. Because when we met Elle, she had already left out of the lab.
Mm-hmm.
Season 4 walks us back to what happened right before she walked out of the lab. And she's the one who she opened that portal and she knows what's in there. She know who in there. She was not trying to go back there.
Did they
And
what? Did they de-age Millie Bobby Brown for that scene?
yeah,
Mm,
because she was by season 4 she had got into a place mentally in her mind that she blocked out a lot of memories,
mm.
and her powers were gone.
Yeah, I remember season 2. She was becoming problematic.
Yeah, I think she lost her powers at the end of season 3. And so yeah, at the beginning of season 4 she didn't even have her powers anymore. She couldn't remember some stuff. And we had to walk it back to the beginning. But yeah, she was not trying to be that cooperative because she's like, I know what's there. I know. I mean, he's there, but that I mean, do we really do we need to go and get him? Kind of thing. And yes, L. I mean, you don't want to go, but so we just gonna leave Will, and
And that's what Lucas was saying. That's why I was on
yeah,
Lucas' side because Lucas was like,
yeah,
she keeping us from getting Will, man. But really, she protecting y'all. But at the same time, she was keeping them from getting Will. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't 100% right either. She was a friend. She was a real one. But yeah, yeah. This was when because damn, I totally forgot until just now. Um, when L let Mike listen to Will, and they realized Will was still alive. You know, it was right before his funeral, and his mom was in the house talking to him, and then that's when she got attacked. Like around the same time, that's when she got attacked by the thing. She had to run out of the house, and Jonathan came in like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And she
Hmm.
was like, "The thing came out the walls."
And she had to knock the whole hole in the wall in her house. It's just the hole just straight through
Right,
outside. I mean, from the outside
yo,
looking
she
in, it
looked.
do look like she's losing it because I mean, how do you just like Elle was like trying to explain? It's like you can't really explain this unless you experience what's going on.
Yeah, but see the thing that brought Jonathan over, because Jonathan was on that whole "Mom, you're crazy. I'm about to go bury Will. We're gonna have a funeral
Hmm.
whether you're there or not. Like, relax." Pretty much that's what he was telling his mom. But the thing that got him was when he was talking to Nancy about Barbara, and then the whole "a man with no face" came about. It was the second time he had heard that shit. So now he was like, okay, there's something bigger. But I like that. I like how like Will's mom comes off as crazy as hell, and everybody's like she's just grieving. But then a little bit later on, they get a little bit of information. They're like, hold on, maybe she has a point. But like the point is still so far fetched that all y'all just look crazy now from the outside looking in. Like if you're on the outside looking at this, they all just look crazy now. But yeah, like I I just dig the way that they organically made them come together under this crazy idea that there was this thing from somewhere else, but right here killing people.
And you can't. It's one of those things you just kind of got to see. Although Hawkins' lab is the one who actually really knew what the hell was going
Oh
on.
yeah, no, yeah, it's crazy how like I mean I understand this is the like it's the '80s, so we still in a little bit of the Red Scare, anti-Soviet era, so everybody got like they reference like MK Ultra, the CIA uh little project to give people like powers and shit or control folks' minds or whatever, stuff like that. So all that's going on, like all that conspiracy crap is going on, and y'all got a lab in the middle of a small town and nobody knows what goes down there. As that's a little far fetched. I mean, somebody should have been on their ass early.
Because I'm like, what? Because going back and realizing like the series started with a shot of Hawkins' lab, and I'm like, what is y'all doing? What are y'all doing? And why are y'all doing? What is
Yeah, I
all of this
wonder like
music for?
I mean I haven't watched season 3 or 4, but like do they have a cover story? Like what's their cover story? Because every time somebody asked what they did there, it was always up in the air like anti-Soviet shit or you know what I'm saying? It was always something vague. It never had a real.
They were trying to use the upside down to their advantage, and it never really happened that way.
Well, I know that like they was trying to do the whole spy shit, like have her be able to listen to conversations across the world, or have her be able to do an assassination from across the country or whatnot. That was the whole thing. But the public, what was the public told? Like, did they make cleaning supplies? Like, what they what did they do with the lab? Because it had military security there. I
Oh
just
yeah,
it
no,
just
they made up a story every time something happened with the lab.
I,
They
there,
didn't know what to shoot.
the lab always lied, but even like the community, everybody had a different story for what the lab did. Oh yeah, they trying to stop the Ruskies from going to do this. Everything was some conspiracy bullshit.
Mm-mm.
So like, is the lab just pumping out conspiracy bullshit for the town to gossip about?
Pretty much.
That's what
Pretty.
it felt like. That's what it felt like. And this is the moment where I felt like Steve was a dick.
Oh yeah, because he was. Well, he was. See, this is what peer pressure do to you. Because he was just trying to stand firm and try to seem like he was the big bad guy in front of his little friends or whatever. Don't break Jonathan Cameron. No, that man ain't got enough money to buy another one. You know you're wrong, Steve, because your
You
family
know,
had money.
he wasn't like all wrong because again, why is Jonathan peeping? But his reaction it was a little much.
It wasn't about the peeping. He was too close to Nancy, is what that was.
Yeah, exactly. But what I never understood about like girls in shows like this is like if you're with the dude and he's being a dick and you don't like that he's acting like that, why are you still there? Why are you leaving when he says let's go? Like he is a high school boy. If you turn off the vagina, he is going to listen. Like I just don't get it. They the girls never have any agency in these types of properties, like especially properties that show like the past, the 80s, 90s. Like if there's a high school bully and he has a girlfriend,
Let's
even if
go, Sarah. Come on. I said, let's
yeah,
go.
like if
And she'd be like,
he feels like he's doing
okay, I'm
wrong,
sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta
exactly.
go. I'm you don't pay my bills. Nigga, come
Like what the
on.
hell?
My daddy has a house. Who are you?
What the hell? Like we in high school, nigga. What the?
Who you talking to? I know it ain't me.
I never got it, man. She was so, and she was getting on my nerves too. She already got Barbara killed, in my opinion. That was her fault, in my opinion. But at this point, when she's worried about Barb, and this is when she figures out that he saw Barbara last. Jonathan saw Barbara last. Um, she's just so mousy and just so
Stood around and let Jonathan get bullied right here.
yeah, pretty much. It's like, and I don't know. She took a while to grow into her character as well. Like her and Steve needed a little, they needed a little culture and they needed a little cultivating over time.
And just as we were just talking about, Hopper figured out that what once he figured out that wasn't Will, he literally went into investigative mode. Like Hopper wasn't playing no games. Like he wasn't sitting around twiddling his fingers. He was on it. Like, all right, this lab out here playing. And then he pulled up on the lab at one point, and they had to knock him out and send him back home.
Yeah, he
Hopper.
found. Yeah, he did. He was wild, and then though first off he had knocked out the guy who was guarding the body, and then when he went to the lab, he knocked out the dude for his. He had put a gun on Buddy for his key card.
Mhm. Yeah, he saw what he needed to see, and then when he saw too much, they kind of put him to sleep and sent him back in the trailer.
Yeah, I feel like the only reason why he survived that is because he is a cop, and it would be harder to like disappear a police officer than it
In
would
a
with
small
like
town
to
like Hawkins.
disappear a freaking kid. But this is I like this part when he figures out okay he already knew that they were lying to him. When he figured out that there's way more to this, his perspective was that the kid snuck into the lab and saw something he shouldn't have,
Mm-hmm.
and then the lab got rid of him. That's his thought process. So his perspective is still grounded in reality. Like it's not sci-fi. It's not this D&D shit. Everybody else at this time, Nancy, freaking Jonathan, Will's mom, and the kids, they're all looking for Will from this supernatural perspective. Like Nancy and Jonathan talking about a man with no face. Freaking Will's mom is bugging with the lights in the house, and the kids are with a superpowered girl. Harper is the only one. He's the only one who is investigating this from a grounded perspective, and he's the last one to get pulled into the fold of this is sci-fi. Like this ain't no regular shit. But I like how they did that. I like how they each because the kids are already on board. Like crazy shit going on. The mom was already on board. It took Nancy and Jonathan a little time to get there, and then Hopper, who is skeptical, like how you were saying about how he didn't want to like say things prior
Mhm.
to actually knowing them. He got there last, but when he got there, they became their most effective.
Because
He,
he was doing his job out here in these streets.
he was,
Um, and as the kids start figuring out that the upside down, it has to be nearby, and there should be a way to get there. Um, because the compasses are not working. So they figured out that there has to be some kind of magnetic pull somewhere. We just got to figure out where that is. 11 said, not today. I just left there. I ain't going back.
yeah,
Okay.
like I don't get why she let them go in the direction. She could have turned them shits around from the beginning. It's like she was contemplating going or not going while going. You know what I'm saying? Like the closer they got, the more apprehension she got.
And now that's when I was with Lucas when he got mad because, why you got me out here walking around the woods getting
Hell
lost?
yeah, I was just about to say that. It's hot. I be walking, trying to find my friend. You lying. You got the compasses lying too.
You know we ain't got no car. We just
She
walking.
did.
Just
She don't
walk.
wipe the blood off on her sleeve, trying to hide it.
It's like you got us just out here, you know, just looking silly, aimlessly walking out here. So I do understand why he got mad at that, but he didn't understand either that she was scared because she's seen things that they have not seen. Like
Yeah,
there's things that they can't comprehend that's happening that is hard to articulate. So I get it. Um, and finally, uh, Nancy and Jonathan are trying to actually be good siblings and figure out can we say Will and Barb. Now they went wrong because they should have been talking to the children about this. I get why probably didn't tell their parents, but y'all didn't have all the information either. Y'all trying to save these people, but again, y'all ain't even care about these other kids out
see,
here.
they're thinking it's some kind of animal. I mean, even though it's walking like a man, it's walking upright, but their plan for taking it on is like using real world weapons, like shooting it and hitting it with a bat. My thing is like, okay, if your perspective on this is that this thing is like an animal that you've never seen before, and you think it already took Will and Barb, like I don't know, I just don't think a bat and a 38 revolver is gonna do the trick, and it did.
It didn't. They were completely sadly mistaken.
Yeah, it's why they had to go back and get some more shit. And then when they went to the store to get the damn supplies, uh, the buddy asked them what they were doing, and Nancy said, "We're monster hunting." She just told the truth.
Because of course, what adult is gonna be paying attention in
Yeah,
between
they don't give
them?
a damn. Bro was like, "All right, here your bullets." And on top of that, they're not 18, and they just buying. Never mind, it's the 80s.
Again, this is the 80s. These people didn't even have money, children, and this is when Jonathan beat that ass.
Oh
He got
yeah,
the
yeah,
police had to come and pull him up off of Steve.
yeah.
Jonathan has some built up rage in there.
He did. It's too much bullying, and on top of that, he kind of like Nancy, and you got Nancy calling Nancy a slut. You writing it all on the walls and shit. Like, and Steve knew he was wrong though.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steve knew the whole time that wasn't, and but his bro had beat him up.
Exactly, that peer pressure. He gotta.
Yeah.
We want to maintain his reputation out here. That's what happens. Okay, it backfired because
And then
He didn't
like,
know Jonathan had hands.
and first off, stop sneaking to her freaking window. I mean, I know he went to go check on her that night to see if she was all right or whatnot. After they, had their talk about Barbara at school, and then he saw her and Jonathan in there after their scare in the upside down. So like, and he just put it together like, oh, she's with dude. But it's like, It's your fault. Why you sticking into folk windows, fam? Boundaries, my nigga. Like
Exactly. You talking about Jonathan taking these pictures, sir? You in the window.
in the
You
window,
in
like
the
she could be doing
you
anything, bro. That
you
is
in the
not your wife. That is not your wife.
you in the window. Okay. Don't be called the pot calling the kettle black. Okay. You in the window, my guy. Ain't neither one of them good at this point. Um, I I did like how 11 helped them stand up to them bullies though. They
Yeah,
needed that.
yeah. I mean, it was cheating, but yeah. How come? Like, this is another thing that gets me about like 80s and 70s and 80s when it comes to kids depicted and shit like this. Because this kind of reminds me of like It and Derry and that group,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a couple of like well they fit a couple of tropes in here, like the mystery gang from Scooby-Doo. It kind of got that feel, and it's just Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. It kind of feels like that too, like Hanna-Barbera, Archie comics feel to it. Why? How come in in all those freaking properties or whatever they have the 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 person who is like the powerful person or the main character or the main MacGuffin person or whatever. They always beat the shit out of a bully. Like
Why is it always a bully? I'm like, was people
it,
really getting bullied like that back in the day? Like,
it's
was
such a
bullying that
trope.
bad? Carrie,
Yeah,
what was
like
the
it's
other
such a
thing?
trope. It's such an '80s trope. Like they have to have the clash between the overpowered individual and the bullies, or the super smart individual and the bullies. Like revisions and nerds. You know what I'm saying? Like were these writers really bullied that badly back then? It shows up at all these properties. It shows up at all of them. This scene shows up in all those properties. But I do dig the fact that we saw like her coming back to. I mean, she's facing her fears pretty much when she comes back. She left, and after their fight with Lucas and whatnot, she threw Lucas across the freaking.
She did because Lucas and Mike got to fighting, and she had to stand up for her boo Mike and toss Lucas ass, knocked him out for a couple seconds,
Oh my god!
and Lucas got pissed off, with rightfully so, because
Then Mike got pissed off at her for doing that. Like, you did too much.
like that was a little extreme. Like, yeah, help us with the bullies, but not with this. So after they little friendship fight, and they said, okay, at the end of the day, we still need to find Will. She still needs to help us. Let's get it together. But by this time, the people out looking for her. Okay,
Yeah,
we know she done escaped. Papa's looking for her. We got to find her ass. We know she hanging around y'all Negroes. So let's go. We got to find 11 at this point. They don't call everybody parents. Y'all
bro.
see the secret is out.
Bro, that's what I was saying about Mike's dad. Like, the government just said your son is harboring a girl and she is dangerous. And Mike's dad is like, damn.
Are y'all sure this happened in my house?
He was like, what? Mike had a girl.
Just all out of touch with what's happening in his in
bro
his
was bro was trash. But I do like how they put this together because Lucas is out trying to find Will by himself. He and Mike then had to fight. 11 done ran away and she's still in Eggos and eating them frozen still. And then she comes back to save them from the bullies. She break the bully arm, giving away that she got powers to people outside the group. And then like that they make up while they're going back to Mike's house. Will sees them people coming for Mike and radios in for them to leave. It's
Lucas.
like, yeah, I like how they put it together, like how they got the group back together after the fight. It was all necessity, and you can just see like the love that they have for each other. Like it just outweighs any strife they have, and I feel like the writers put that together quite nicely. And then this scene was the best scene in season one to me, even though looking at it now, I don't know if it's because technology has increased a little bit since then. It looks kind of clunky, but it was still a hard ass scene. She threw a whole van, and up until that point, we didn't know she could do that.
Exactly. And she was and I think it's like the more she tries to save others, the stronger that she was. Like she was probably willing to do a lot more to save others than even her own self at this point. To let them know like y'all are trying to help me, but I'm also gonna do my part and help everybody else as well.
Yeah, and then she gets mad tired after shit like that,
I
and
mean,
gotta eat hella egos.
and rest just a little bit. And so now everybody at this point, everybody knows.
Yep.
Okay, we all know. Let's get together. Hopper's like, y'all need to come on. I'll help you outside of. Yes, those are the police. But I'm different. I know what's going on. I know they're not telling us stuff. Y'all need to come on, and we gonna fix it together. But y'all got to stop hiding her. We gonna all get it together. And so before they even devise a plan, we got to find where Will is first. And so she remembers that they will put her underwater to help her be able to see the upside down without having to actually go there. She
Yeah.
just has to be submerged in water. So they do this to see if she can locate Will so that they can go and find him and also locate Barb.
And
Barb is already gone.
they
Barb is
had to make a whole deprivation tank. So they had to like put the whole. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. The teacher told him how to make a deprivation
gone.
tank. First off, he's such a nerdy guy. Why his girl so bad? How that like?
Things I did not realize. We are in a state of peril. All I cared about was yes, these kids had the oddest questions to ask, and he was going to answer them. Like I
I'm
don't know
just
why y'all like asking me this, but I got an answer for it. Like yeah, I talked to
man,
Will.
bro was trying to get them off the phone quick though. Like
They had all these questions, and because this teacher helped explain the upside down, explain that because 11 is the one who told them that there's an upside down, but he was able to use his intelligence to break it down. Like there is like this plane, and on one plane there's our dimension, and then the opposite of us is where we are, and the only way you can get through that is through a gate. And then they called him back because they're like, okay, how can we get her submerged in water to get to a plate? How would this work if we wanted to do XYZ? And he's like, you need water and salt. Cool. He don't even know what it's for. Thank you,
nah,
teacher.
because he trying to get their ass back. He trying to get them off the phone. But now he did. He was a good teacher though. He encouraged their like uh imagination, and he's also a nerd. He's a big time nerd, just like them. Like he kind of reminds me of one of our high school teachers that me and Timmy used to hang with all the time. He acted just like us. He was just older,
Which one?
huh?
Which one?
Mr. Lord, you ain't never had Mr. Lord.
I don't think so. You said
Yeah,
high school?
yeah.
Mm-mm.
And Mr.
Because I
Lord
was
was
in your mama's class.
I was too, yeah. But I had Mr. Lord though. Mr. Lord was cool as fuck. I remember we was out doing something. We were watching cars for something, and I started singing rapping Beastie Boys, and he finished it. That's when I knew, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't remember him. Mm-mm.
Oh man, him and Mr. Sin used to be, the band director, Mr. Sin.
Mm-hmm.
They used to hang out all the time. Me and Timmy used to talk about how he was the Lord and he was the sin.
Y'all ever wanted to know what my school experience was like? This is it. This is the same dynamic we done had for years.
Oh man, we had hella fun.
Ain't shit changed.
Ain't shit changed. Go have me. You come from a small town,
So they
like these niggas.
exactly. So
Me and my homies is just like them. To this day, it's crazy.
it,
Born and
exactly. That's why I said if I was in that, this would have been us.
yeah, well, no, cause we black. We black. We would have had to have some white friends to encourage us to go into the upside down. Cause
Oh, I ain't said
we
we was gonna do all that. I mean, we
cause
was
we
gonna do all
ain't
the other
going.
nerdy things, but we wasn't.
Cause we ain't going.
We, we're not, it's only far with our blackness is gonna take us.
Yo, yeah, like Lucas was the real one, bro. He was the only black dude there, and he was down.
But they,
Got your boy.
yeah, they submerged her in water, and yes, but they found she found Will. Will was hanging by a thread by this time. He was barely hanging on in there. Barb was already gone,
Yeah,
long
I don't
gone.
think Barb lasted a night in there.
But we was already too late for her. But we did find Will, and so that's what Hopper and Joyce was like. All right, we're gonna go get Will. Nancy and Jonathan said we're gonna go back to the house, and if they're going to go get Will, then we want to take out the monster that's in the way so that they can have a clear path. Like if we can get him out of the way so that they won't be distracted, they can say we'll move the monster out of the way. And the
And
kids were
Nancy
like,
wanted revenge too, cause Barb, she realized Barb was dead.
yes. And the kids were like, we're gonna stay with Elle because she's weak now. She'd been using these powers all day. We're gonna stay. They said stay put. We're gonna stay here, wait for Will, and help Elle get herself back together. Um, this is when I started liking Steve. I actually, and I forgot about it. I didn't know Jonathan made that bat, but Steve went to work with that bat.
Yeah, Steve did. Steve
Steve
came
went to
in
work.
clutch.
He
Cause he
came
was
in.
about to leave. Cause when it first showed up, he was like, "Oh, what the hell?" This
Exactly.
is
He
the
did
first
run out. He did go outside for a second.
time.
he did, he had to think about whether he was going to help out or not. But
He
when
did.
he came back in that house and went to work, and he held that bat throughout the rest of the seasons though. Like that, like season 2, like that was like that's Steve's bat. And I forgot Jonathan is the one that made it, but Jonathan may have made that damn bat, but Steve went to work.
Yeah, man. It's funny because in the monster fight, Jonathan was like the least effective.
Right.
Because Nancy was busting, boy. Like, how many bullets you had, Nancy? Well, they did buy 4 boxes. They bought 4 boxes of 38s. She was clapping that shit. That shit was not working. It felt it though. That's the one thing that I was thinking, like, this is a supernatural monster, or is it just a thing from a different place? But the way that it took damage, it bled, it got hurt. Like, I don't think it's like what I would call supernatural. I mean, it's from a supernatural place, but it's killable. You know what I'm saying? And they proved this. They didn't kill it. They was beating that thing ass.
They was yes, they was going to Steve. Like I said, Steve was swinging that damn bat though. This one I was just like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't hate Steve like I thought I did.
And
And
what wasn't this like the first time you see the thing like full view?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And in like that much of attack mode in the light and stuff. There was one versus three, and it was giving them the business, but they was trying. They was sticking with it though. They weakened it, if that counts. But this I liked this moment though because it pulled Steve from out of just like the douchebag bully um trope guy into like Steve was in it now. And the thing is Steve didn't even have to be in this. Steve had no stake in this.
Yeah.
He had none other than the fact that he cared about Nancy. Steve didn't even have to be a part of this and he put himself in it and was stuck with these people from here on out.
Yeah, he got better friends. That's what he did.
Yeah, leave the jerks and leave them on behind. He never go back to them. Hopper knew where to find everybody at in this
Yeah,
place. He went straight there back to the lab and said, "I done seen this place. I know this place. Let's go."
yeah, he knew that he knew from the jump once they realized exactly where Will was that there was no way he could get there without the lab. So like he allowed himself to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
he
he
took
got
the same exact route that he got caught last time. He knew that they were watching their security cameras were watching that route. So
he took
he
a
picked
bit
that.
of an ass whooping too. For a little bit. They kind of got him.
They roughed him up. But and they were gonna kill him this time, but he was like, "Nah, fam, I know everything, and
Mhm.
I got people that know everything, and if I don't leave here, alive, all y'all screwed." So they had to work with him, but they were kind of hoping that he would die inside the upside down, like because everybody they sent in there got, but the thing is outside
Mhm.
getting triple team right now
By some teenagers.
by some teenagers. So, and the lab ain't realized that. So they went in, they just walked in there like it wasn't nothing and found bro. And like the upside down is mad weird. It's a weird ass place, but I like how it looks. Like it's different. It gives me video game vibes. Like I can see it's been a video game setting, but I don't know. It's
When you get to season 4, it's gonna explain the upside down to you a little bit more.
okay. Yeah, let me get to it.
Cause
Over there, Spally, Miss Spally
yes, it's
face.
the upside down was designed. So all of this stuff that's happening was for a reason.
Nah,
This was for but nobody knew none of this.
we in the
Nobody
Matrix.
knew.
We in the simulation.
Nope, it's not a simulation. Not at all. But it was designed for a specific reason
That's
outside of
my
what the government knew, outside of what these lab workers and stuff knew. It was I ain't gonna give it away, but this was all by design outside of what everybody knew at this
that's
point.
my that's my guess for everything.
Oh yeah.
Simulation,
It wasn't a simulation.
like
It was
like Severance.
yes. Go back to that theories and stuff. But yes, we got Will, and he needed some CPR, but we got him back because Hopper said, "Ain't another child finna die in my presence. I done did this one time," and I actually love the flashbacks
The
that
flashbacks, yeah.
what Hopper went through with his daughter and his wife, and it gave us more context about why he is who he is and why saving Will was so important to him. We needed to see that. But of course, once Hopper and Joyce was in the damn upside down, Papa and them went over to the school that said, okay, well, now that we know where 11 is, I need to go ahead and get her. Um, but you know where y'all go, the upside down follows, and uh, 11 took out some of the people, but she was too weak to get all of them.
Yeah, but she made him bleed, and that why the thing came.
Yep. And since it came on in, Papa was trying to take her ass back. Not this time, my boy. Not this time. And she, in order to protect, the boys, she had to. She knew she opened the gate. She had to be the one to take it back down, even if it took her to. And she showed the probably like another ultimate level of her powers, which when you go back to season 4, you see she got to this point right as she was leaving the lab. And and it's funny that at the end of season 1 is pretty much pretty much the same way that she she did this is what happened how she opened the portal.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that. I
Hmm.
watching it, like, cause the whole she showed up when Will went missing. So like at the end, I knew she was connected to Will's disappearance, but at the end it kind of showed you how directly she was connected. Like her her escape attempt, her successful escape attempt led to Will's disappearance, pretty much. And you can kind of tell, like, you know, her ability to open and close that shit had to be influential on Will's, predicament. So like I figured that just by looking at this.
Yes, the end was actually the technically the start. Is
Yeah.
how this all of this honestly got started, unbeknownst to everyone else at
There's a
this.
there's a thing like it really feel I don't know if the writers or whoever are like anime fans, but there's this anime, it's a terrible anime. It's called Genocyber. But the whole Papa thing with her relationship with the guy from the lab or whatnot, that is 100% like in this anime as well as these two girls. They're like lab experiments and they combine together and they become this world-ending demon thing that can kill anything and is horrible and gruesome. And like their relationship with the person who was testing on them was a father-daughter relationship. And like all the interactions that they had in this anime felt like what Elle was going through at the lab. So I wonder if, like, I mean, it's a terrible, terrible anime. I promise you, you do not want to see it. But it feels like whoever wrote this was inspired to make a better story from that anime's premise. I say it like that. But yeah, terrible anime. Would not recommend unless you just want to see violence and gore because it has a lot of that. But the story is like bro was on crack when he wrote that.
I don't want to give away too much from season 4, but uh, her powers didn't necessarily come from the upside down, but it's connected to it. Um, yeah, you gotta watch season 4 because it's gonna wrap it all around to
Man,
you.
I'm gonna get there. I don't rewatch the first two seasons. I'm gonna definitely get there.
And of course, we got Will. He's okay. The guys tell him about 11, and that like we knew you weren't gone. We were looking for you, and we had a friend that was there to help us. Um, Everybody's at the hospital. Even Steve. Like I said, Steve ain't even have no stake in this. That's when I was like, Steve, you might be a good guy because you
it
ain't have to be there. And he was
it
just
was funny to me how like these four didn't miss a beat. The right when Will came back, they were talking like he was never gone, but they was filling him in.
mm. And I
Like
like that it shows that like they were just kids being kids. Our friend is back. We knew he wasn't gone, and they just got back to their usual little dynamic here.
yeah, they I forgot the little girl's name, and she was crying at his funeral. They told him that she was crying, and he was like, "Really?"
Mm. Probably the same person who was probably sitting in class kicking the back of his chair and bullying him.
Bro, what? What? Yeah, things change, man. When bad things happen.
Pretenders is what it is. um, and we see at the end that kids, you watch it all the way, through. 11 is not gone. Uh, Hopper has she made it out of the upside down. Like she found like a hole that was still within the school and was able to get back out of there. But Hopper found her, and he found her, but he's trying to make sure nobody else does
Mm-hmm.
because he knows now that the government want her. They want to use her, and she's not safe if anybody knows. So he's like, I'm gonna just go and slide these waffles, no syrup, no butter, no nothing.
Man,
Okay. She didn't even
How
experience the true Eggo without the toaster and a butter and some syrup.
Yeah, like you warm them up and you put some butter and syrup on, she gonna lose her mind because she killing them shit.
It's like you don't even know the half of it. You ain't even enjoyed it the way it needs to be enjoyed. Okay? And don't put some blueberries. The
And
ones
this
out.
this the 80s. Back when Eggo waffles still tasted good. It tastes like plastic now.
when they use real ingredients to make stuff. And then you have it's Christmas by this time.
Yeah,
By the way.
about a month later or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm. And
time jump.
Will is at the house. It's Christmas. Everybody I think he was with his friends, and Jonathan came and picked him up, and he's at the house and goes to the bathroom because he's still coughing and sneezing and all of that. And remember when they found him in the upside down, that something was on him, like an alien. Something was attached to his mouth. It's not gone. I don't know why they didn't think to look for that at the hospital, because in Alien, if something is covering your mouth, it's for a reason. They take it out or put something in, and something was in. So he coughed up one of them little slithery creature things from the upside down, and gets a brief flash of like a PTSD moment of being in the upside down. And I remember watching this when it came out. That let us know, like, the first thought that was in my mind when I saw that is that he brought the upside down back with him.
Yeah, it's like a Freddy Krueger type of thing.
Like you've crossed it over. Like they used you to take it with them. So now whatever that was there is now here with us. And I knew he wasn't gonna say nothing, because that's just how people do. They ain't even gonna say, okay, what happened? You just gonna let it grow and slither around and whatnot.
Yeah, he was getting on my nerves at the beginning of season 2, man. We'll talk about that when we get there, but he was getting on my damn nerves.
Yes, but this is season 1 recap of Stranger Things. We are going to come back next week and do season 2, give you a whole full breakdown. That way these videos will be here on the channel, so by the time season 5 starts, you got everything right here you need to go ahead and catch up. Also on the channel, we have Godfather of Harlem reviews. I'll be doing episode 8 this week. Ironheart comes out soon. There's also a review for the movie Straw on the channel, and Bring Her Back is up on the channel. And if you guys have not already, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and we will see everybody in the next one. Well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor, and I can't help but to hear. No, I can't help but to hear. Thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful wedding. Thank you. Thank you. What a shame the poor groom's bride is. Thank you. Thank you. I signed in with the haven't you people ever heard of? Thank you. Closing a goddamn door. No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I signed in, haven't you people ever heard of? Thank you.